So you've been obsessing with self-improvement lately. You want to be the best version of yourself. You've watched all the motivational videos, all the daily routine videos, and it's understandable why. We live in an age where access to pleasure is in the palm of our hands. We're always one button away from overstimulating our brains with dopamine. And it's only natural for those of you that have realized the impact of this to want to change. Your environment affects your development and also plays a huge part in shaping you as a person. This goes for what you watch and what you consume. All this information gives you a new view of how you should work on yourself and how you view life. And there is nothing wrong with that, but at some point you become so obsessed with consuming such content that it becomes a setback for your ability to grow. You start consuming more and more content, thinking that you actually need this in order to grow and achieve your goals. But the reality is that you start using this content as a way to procrastinate and to avoid the work that you should be doing in order to achieve your goals and become the best version of yourself. This way you get stuck in a loop, thinking that you're making some progress, but you're actually not making any progress in life. This is because you think simply by watching these videos you're making an actual progress. But the truth is that this is like having an exam, being ready for it and not showing up on the day of the exam. This is like having a driver's license and never actually getting to drive a car in real life. And I'm not saying that you should stop consuming such content, but instead you should start being an active consumer. So you implement everything that you learn and start making a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. You see a guy in the gym that's already jacked and you see a businessman that already has a ton of money. You know what they have done in order to achieve this. They have worked their ass off for this. At some point, practice becomes more important than actual knowledge. And I think that for some of us, this comes from a point of being perfectionists. You're waiting for the perfect opportunity for stars to align for you so that you can start acting up on your dreams and on your goals. But let me tell you something, life passes by real quick. And it's never going to be the perfect time to start working on yourself and to start that business that you have been thinking of, realizing all those amazing ideas in your head. You have to accept that nothing and no one is perfect, and you're going to make hundreds of mistakes along the way of achieving your dreams and goals. And instead of looking at those mistakes as something negative, you should look at them as something positive. Because those mistakes are going to help you learn and shape you into the person you want to become. We all know that procrastination is the cost of the life you could have lived, and yet knowing this information, this hasn't stopped anyone from doing it. It's a bit like gambling. You see all those billboards saying that gambling leads to an addiction, yet this hasn't stopped anyone from going to the casino for a couple spins. I saw something very eye-opening today and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you are going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. And it basically goes on like this, but at the end what it says is the only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. And especially nowadays, I think that this quote is very on point. And if you're a man living in today's era and having that laser focus, there is no way that you will not succeed in what you're wanting to do. And even taking steps towards your goals for 1 year without knowing any key information on the thing you want to achieve, it's still way better than staying for 1 year in that preparing to do the thing stage. Because you have to make that first step even before seeing the whole staircase. Actually, making this first step without seeing the whole staircase is way better than knowing everything that's ahead, because this is a way for you to learn and grow faster than anyone else before you that has done it, that has already had the path laid out for him, because it's always easier to follow the beaten path instead of making your own. But if you go ahead and make your own, I guarantee you that you're going to learn a lot more things and you're going to grow a lot more than a person that already has everything laid out for them. When I wanted to become great at making videos and become a videographer, I started making videos before even buying a course and learn all that knowledge. I was already out there filming. Even though my videos were very shitty, I was still doing those videos, improving myself with practice every single day, along with learning. And no matter how bad these videos were, I wasn't afraid of putting them out there for people to see. Because sometimes you have to throw yourself out there in the unknown and just figure it out as you go. If you start doing something with the mindset that you're going to go all in and you're going to figure it out along the way. I guarantee you that the universe is going to make a way for the things to happen. And if you fail, what? If you're watching this video, you probably have internet, you probably have roof over your head, food and a stable job, or even better, you're living with your parents and you have more free time. So what's the worst thing that can happen? Even if you fail, you're going to go back to living your old normal life that you lived by now. It's basically a no-brainer. There is no risk at all. You're just afraid of doing it. And at some point I was also there because I was working at the gym right before the pandemic hit. And even though after a couple months I knew that this wasn't going to be a long-term job for me and I didn't like it at all, but I still stayed there. But when pandemic hit, I got laid off, and instead of finding a new job, I actually realized that I'm not panicked and I wasn't in a search for a new job immediately. I wasn't afraid of becoming incomeless, and I knew that I'm going to start something and pursue my goals, and I'm going to try and give it a shot and see what happens. And even if I didn't make it out, I was going to go back to my parents and live with them for a couple months until I find another job. And this is what happened. I started pursuing my dreams, but at some point I ran out of money and I wasn't able to pay rent. So I had to go back to my parents for a couple months. And there is nothing wrong with that if you're actually certain in what you're doing and if you actually believe in yourself and you know that you're going to achieve what you want. At some point you're going to realize that the best time to start working on your dreams is now, and no matter what point you're in your life, when you realize this and when it hits you, you're going to start taking immediate actions. And of course it's best to realize it sooner in your life when you're younger, but I have seen this happen for people in their 50s and even in their 60s, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's better to be late than never, right? And what has helped me being more consistent with working on my dreams and avoid procrastination was when I realized that when I get older, there's probably going to be a time when regret is going to hit, and I'm going to be wondering, what if I did this, and what if I did that? What if I took that risk? What could have happened? And my biggest fear in life is that I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve. And if your fear of this is greater than the other fears, then it's a no-brainer. You're going to start working on your dreams and you're going to find a way for you to beat procrastination. And I also heard some people asking questions like, do you want to be an NPC for your whole life and just be an observer instead of being the main character? You should really ask yourself, do you want to be the main character of your life, or you want to live like an NPC for the rest of your life? So to summarize this video, the key point takeaways are to start acting more on your dreams instead of just reading about how to become better, because it's always great to have knowledge, but knowledge means nothing without practice. And secondly, get rid of all those time drainers and cheap dopamine activities like scrolling on social media. I actually have a video on this topic, you can go ahead and watch it. There I share how I beat procrastination, scrolling on social media, and other bad habits that are time drainers. I hope you find this video helpful, and if so, you can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.